The anticipation in the air was palpable as two martial arts titans, Michiko Nishiwaki and Tiger Hu Chen, prepared to face off in a battle that had fans buzzing for weeks. The venue was packed with eager spectators, their eyes trained on the ring, eager to witness a showdown between two incredible athletes who were about to make history. On one side there was Michiko Nishiwaki, a name synonymous with precision, grace, and raw power, while on the other stood Tiger Hu Chen, a fighter whose lightning-fast reflexes and unrelenting stamina made him a formidable opponent. Both had honed their craft over years of rigorous training, and now it was time for their skills to collide in a match that promised to be unforgettable. As the bell rang, the crowd erupted into cheers and the fighters began their dance. Nishiwaki, with her background in traditional martial arts, displayed an almost otherworldly level of control. Her movements were fluid and calculated, each strike purposeful, each block executed with the finesse of someone who had mastered their art. Her strength lay not just in her power, but in her ability to read her opponent's movements, a skill that came from years of sparring with the best in the world. But Michiko wasn't just about technique. Her mental toughness was one of her greatest weapons. She had been through grueling bouts before and had always come out victorious, often with nothing but a slight smile and a nod of acknowledgement to her opponent. Tiger Hu Chen, on the other hand, was a whirlwind of motion. His background in kickboxing and Brazilian jiu-jitsu made him a multifaceted fighter who could adapt quickly to any style. Where Nishiwaki relied on precision and timing, Tiger was all about aggression and pace. From the moment the bell sounded, it was clear that he wasn't there to simply outclass his opponent. He was there to dominate. Tiger's kicks were explosive, and his combinations were relentless. His striking power was his greatest strength, and anyone who stepped into the ring with him knew they had to be prepared for an onslaught of fast and powerful attacks. In the opening minutes of the fight, it was clear that Tiger was trying to dictate the pace. He surged forward with a barrage of punches and kicks, testing Nishiwaki's defense and attempting to throw her off her rhythm. The crowd roared as he landed a solid kick to her midsection, sending a shockwave through the arena. It was a clear signal that he wasn't going to give her any room to breathe. However, Nishiwaki didn't flinch. She absorbed the blow, her body moving with the grace of a dancer, and countered with a swift, clean strike to Tiger's jaw. The hit was sharp, precise, and demonstrated the full extent of her ability to read an opponent's movements. Despite the early exchanges, both fighters were showing signs of wear. Nishiwaki's defensive style was starting to frustrate Tiger, who was becoming more aggressive as the match wore on. The energy in the arena was electric, with fans sensing that something big was about to happen. Yet, with each of Tiger's attacks, Michiko seemed to be one step ahead. Her ability to evade, parry, and counterattack was on full display, and it became clear that while Tiger's strikes were powerful, his approach had one key weakness: a tendency to overcommit. His reliance on aggression meant that he was sometimes leaving himself open to counters, something Michiko knew how to exploit. As the rounds progressed, it was clear that Tiger's early burst of energy was starting to take a toll on him. Nishiwaki, ever the strategist, bided her time, waiting for the perfect moment to capitalize on his fatigue. She had endured the early storm, and now it was her turn to shine. In the fifth round, as Tiger launched yet another flurry of attacks, Michiko made her move. She slipped inside his guard with an impeccable sidestep, and in one fluid motion, delivered a devastating spinning back fist to Tiger's temple. The sound of impact reverberated through the arena, and for a moment, time seemed to freeze. Tiger staggered back, his vision blurry, his movements sluggish. The crowd erupted as Michiko, sensing the moment of vulnerability, didn't hesitate. She moved in for the finish, her strikes crisp and calculated. Tiger tried to regain his footing, but the damage had been done. His stamina, once his greatest strength, was now a liability, and Michiko's precision and composure under pressure had tipped the scales in her favor. In the final moments of the fight, it was clear that Tiger Hu Chen had nothing left to give. His strikes were slower, his defense weaker, and his body had reached its limit. Michiko, on the other hand, was still sharp, still calculating. With one final well-timed strike to his ribs, the referee stepped in and the fight was called. As the crowd roared in approval, Michiko Nishiwaki raised her arms in victory. It was a well-earned win, a testament to her skill, her patience, and her ability to adapt under pressure. While Tiger Hu Chen had undoubtedly brought the fight to her, it was Michiko's strategic mind and precise technique that ultimately won the day. The fight was a masterclass in martial arts, showing that while power and aggression can win battles, it is often strategy, timing, and mental fortitude that decide the war. Michiko's victory was a reminder that in the world of combat sports, it's not just about who hits hardest, but who hits smartest.